The old school montage song Holding On is by a band called LTD, which is Love, Tenderness, and Devotion. And that's what the Love Covenant aims to deliver each and every day to the 9 to noon listening audience at FM 100.3 KFAN. We love doing Box in the Box and the tenderness that comes with it. And when there's devotion to a game plan, that seems to work out for the best for most teams over the course of time. I mean, sometimes you get beat, but then you get beat by not doing what you're supposed to do. Holding on. That's very hard to do when love is gone. Or holding on. That's very hard to do when listening to the coach is gone. Heinze hit him with a direct shot after the lackluster 4-2 loss to Colorado last evening. After a physical, speedy, convincing Saturday smashing of said Lanch. Then, after the game, Heinze hit us all with this. Listen closely.
The style of game that we needed to play to win the game, we made the conscious choice not to play that way tonight. So, we'll readdress that, and then we'll get ready for Game 5.
Covenant cleanup. Final score was 5-2.
Oh, good.
At an empty netter.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Ooh!
That was a telling soundbite from John Heinze. A conscious choice that should trigger a talkback or two. We would imagine on talkbacks on this Tuesday, free iHeartRadio app, running a bunch on the Minnesota Wild. Next segment, free iHeartRadio app, up to 30 seconds, you get the bit. Heinze.
The style of game that we needed to play to win the game, we made the conscious choice not to play that way tonight. So, we'll readdress that, and then we'll get ready for Game 5.
I think Heinze, 3-2. I think the style of game we needed to play to win, we made the conscious choice not to play that way tonight.
No!
And the Avalanche are about to knock somebody out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Coach was asked, when did he notice this conscious choice revelation? His answer, I'd say from the start. That's big. This is big. I mean, state of hockey meshing with Howl Nation, Minnesota Timberwolves fans who follow it at least relatively closely. What Heinze said sounds like it could be Anthony Edwards talking about a Timberwolves loss mid-Feb when he'd say, like, we didn't follow the plan. Finchie's plans are good. And when we follow it, we're tough to beat. We didn't follow it tonight, and we got beat. So how do we handle this state of hockey? How do we handle this? Saturday was the state of cocky. Last night was the state of schlocky.
No!
5-2 victory. Avs lead the series 3-1. How do we handle this state of hockey? What does he mean? What does that mean? They made a conscious choice, they being the players. They made a conscious choice to play a certain way that in the estimation of the head coach was not requisite of winning. And what does it lead to tomorrow night? 7 o'clock Cornfields time. Ball Arena. Roche. Scoring for Colorado. The white zone is for loading and unloading of passengers only. Welcome to DIA. All right. What does this lead to tomorrow night? This is concerning and frustrating. Let's unpack and set up the talkbacks, all right? You see, we have some new friends joining us today, so the house needs to be clean. Mary Rominger covers the Spurs for KSAT TV in San Antonio, and Dane Mizutani, the Vikings for the Pioneer Press. The tone is set, so the mood needs to be right in the Covenant. We got new friends. But first, took an L yesterday. It's kind of a Covenant cleanup. Scott Hendricks and Hoffman Cooling and Heating. We got all wrapped up yesterday with an excitable Vox in the box off Game 3 and that victory where the gang made a conscious choice to follow the plan and play perhaps the only way to beat these guys, sans Brodzinecki. And in doing so, we forgot the weekend wrap. So let's play off the word wrap. HoffmanHeating.net, by the way. HoffmanHeating.net. Hoffman Cooling and Heating. Things heated up for the squad and the series Saturday. Man, the cooling portion of the equation took place last night, and it was at home, which always is bad for business.
Oh my gosh, can you hear?
So it's time, according to KFAN, to tighten down things.
I always love that one.
Batten down the hatches right now.
I always love that one.
So, down 3-1 and heading to Ball Arena. Is it a Wednesday wrap for the Minnesota Wild? As in one last cry? As in the sky is falling? As in holding on is very hard to do when listening is gone? As in rainy days and Monday nights always get us down? Hoffman Cooling and Heating. Good people over there. Saddened by last night's loss. Lots of Wild fans with HoffmanHeating.net. You see, they make a conscious choice every day to make sure you are comfortable in your covenant. That includes a $59 AC performance check. Seniors, veterans, military members, perhaps saddened Wild fans, get discounts on all of it. HoffmanHeating.net to learn more. And we greatly appreciate you. Talkbacks and the state of hockey. What does making a conscious choice to abandon the best chance to win mean? Talkbacks, free iHeartRadio app. Here are some suggestions, but please don't limit yourselves to these. You have takes, all right? You have takes, or you pilfer takes, but you find takes. We have the talkback machine. Put that whole thing together, up to 30 seconds to share. Last night, it was the Wild playing east-west and not north-south with speed, purpose, and ferocity. Why? I'm just asking why. Teach me, teach us. State of hockey and the learned hockey minds. We'll repeat it. Last night, it was the Wild. Unlike Saturday, where these were the Avs. Talked about it with Billy G. Talked about it with Mick Tuckett. Talked about it with several, including along the boards with B. About Colorado playing east-west hockey Saturday because the Wild 5-on-5 forced them into said style, and not north-south. Saturday, we were north-south with speed, purpose, and ferocity. Last night, we were east-west. Why? Did we not finish pulverizing checks last evening? Did we in any way hang Wally out to dry? Tough for me to buy into that one, and Wally was superb at times. Superb at times. First time this series, Wally. There was a big old Wally chat in the arena last night.
Yeah.
Our stars were a flicker, and not of the shining variety like Saturday night. I'm a Boldy guy. We're all Boldy people.
We love Boldy.
Were, are, and will be Boldy people. His last 3 goals are on empty netters.
Oh my gosh, can you hear? Above average at that.
I mean, it's not an affront. It's not an aspersion.
Just a statistical fact, right?
And there will be no bunk corporate apology tied to it. It's fact. His last 3 goals are of the empty net variety. Read into some of his quotes, listen to some of his quotes, and he expects more of himself. And State of Hockey Nation fully expects more from somebody who wins gold medals.
Yeah.
And we ain't just honing in on him.
No.
But just following, just connecting the dots of hockey divinity with the way this whole thing shook out last night. You know why? Because now you're down 3-1. And holding on is very hard to do when love is gone.
Yeah, down 3-1. And by the way, when it's mid-second period and you have 4 shots on goal.
20-4.
So if we're looking at conscious decisions or conscious choices and what north-south can look like when it goes east-west and why the Wild,
Thank you,
as you fire up the talkback machine and enter your thoughts on the game, maybe part of that conversation could be, we are mid-second period.
Yes.
And we have 4 total shots on net. You want to test Blackwood? They give Wedgie a night off. You want to test Blackwood? 4 shots in 30 minutes. Maybe that's part of the conscious choice that the coach was talking about last night.
Very, very fair point. And when you spell the word wild, W-I-L-D, well, right now it's W-I-L-L-L-D. And this is all under the assumption the coach is right, by the way. With the conscious choice bomb that he dropped. I mean, that's Heinze was mad. Heinze knows what he's talking about.
Coach made a conscious choice to use the words conscious choice.
Right. By the way, props to Nico Sturm. Props to the guy who's not as fast as he used to be and has had some ballyhoo to his career. Props to Nico Sturm. You know, the guy with ring cred.
Yeah.
The guy who has the ring. What goes into getting the ring. Talk about working hard and taking advantage of laziness. When Nico Sturm tied it at 2, he tried to wrap around on Blackie, was thwarted, went toppling with Brock Nelson into the corner, worked hard to get up fast. As Nelson leisurely came to his feet, Sturm heads to the net. Husey finds him, and we're tied. Hard work pays off. That was a conscious choice the guy with ring cred made. And through the 20-4 in the east-west and the north-south and the stars flickering, there was still such a brilliant chance to win that game last night, even in the third period. Well, props to Nico Sturm, seriously.
He had before he got that goal, by the way, not just the work in that moment. He had this double shot opportunity earlier, and Blackwood was chaotic, it was frenetic, but Sturm was working last night. He's definitely not somebody that maybe Heinze was talking about when he said conscious choice.
I mean, just getting set up in the offensive zone for more than half the game was quite the arduous task. So, conscious choices. If you make a conscious choice to play a certain way and it's not working and you continue to bang your head against the proverbial wall for basically half the game, how does the metaphorical light not come on? Far too many one and dones. Far too many one and dones. Other side of the equation, see Nazem Kadri and the 2, and you guys are all done. Shoots. Didn't go in. Rebound. Kadri. Shoots again. Score. W-I-L-L-L-D. Inconsistent forecheck. It's all part of the talkback equation today. State of hockey. What exactly goes into playing 19 consecutive minutes from period 1 to period 2 and not registering a single shot? Free iHeartRadio app. Nico Sturm, after the game, said they didn't really find their game until the midway point. Well, that, and we appreciate the effort. I mean, 9 to Noon has opted to single out the guy with ring cred for working hard. But see, that makes the evening that much more frustrating because the coach says from the start they made a conscious choice to not play the right way to beat the best team in the NHL. The guy with cup cred claims they got it all together in the middle stages of the game, game 4, and through all the negativity and malaise, they had a chance to win.
Oh my gosh.
Here's an age-old cliche for you that would have personified last night. The mark of a really good team is one that plays poorly and still wins. Here's another that is pertinent and factual. Backs against the wall. If you're down 3-1, your back indeed is against whatever wall is the wall. Teams down 3-1 in the Stanley Cup playoff history win 10% of series. The Florida Panthers last did it in 2023. Nico Sturm used to play for the Florida Panthers. That's where he got the ring cred. Avs coach Jared Bednar after the game said, quote, "For me, the biggest change from last game to this game is we were a more determined group. To a man, just more determined and committed to playing the right way. Last game, I thought we got out-competed a little bit, and tonight we kind of swung it back in our favor, and guys went to work. Relentless all over the rink. We just look quicker. Key point there, or so says 9 to noon, just more determined and committed to playing the right way."
Interesting.
They made a conscious choice to play the right way to prevail. The Colorado Avalanche made a conscious choice to play the right way to prevail. Heinze says we didn't, and there is your dagger. But said dagger has not been driven deeply enough into the body to stop the heart from beating. Let's be straight. So what happens tomorrow night out there? Do you succumb to the death of a series? Or do you fight back? Natchez said after the game, they outskated you guys, and he also said their physicality wore you down. To a man. He said that to a man. What that means is he's saying when they try, you can't skate with them. And when they punish, you stay in your rooms on timeouts, and you do as they say. How's that sound? That's what he said. That's what it means. Go ahead and unpack it for yourselves, unless you want to make a conscious choice to not believe what's being said about you from the other guys. Go ahead. That should bug prideful players. Seriously. Natchez, you can't skate with us. Our physicality wore you down. You're not you don't try as hard as us. And when we punish you, you're on timeouts like children. That should bug prideful players. So what's the conscious choice players will make tomorrow night? Are you going to lay down because your coach hurt your feelings and savaged you and your I not thy pride and lay down and give up 9 again? Or do you dig deep for everything you have? Everything you have. And fight back and put a modicum of pressure on the best team in the National Hockey League. You tell us, State of Hockey. Talkback's next segment and later. What do you think? What do you expect? What were your thoughts? What do you think when you cast your gaze to the Mile Get High City tomorrow night? By the way, talkbacks come with a prize. For more on that, here's Nordo.
Indeed, it's a Talker Tuesday, which is provided by Northern Fire Grilling and Barbecue Supply, northernfirebbq.com. Stop in the store, see about their big Memorial Day weekend sale that'll be coming up soon. But to that end, one of you talkbackers is going to get a $25 gift card to Northern Fire Grilling and Barbecue Supply. And you just send that talkback in with the free iHeartRadio app. I will just ask. I've seen a lot of F-bombs in the transcripts this morning, PA. Wild fans, very frustrated.
Right.
If we can just avoid those, then I can actually play them on the air. But thanks for listening 9 to noon and being passionate about our hockey team who made a conscious choice to go down 3-1 last night.
TimberTech.com provides the What's on Deck 9 to noon. And there's a lot, including Talkback's next segment and money to be given away right now. Good morning.
Yeah, the Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a chance to win some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. This hour's keyword is media. Media is the word, and you just enter it in at KFAN.com. Keyword is media, KFAN.com.
This is 9 to noon, live on iHeartRadio and KFAN.
Tana, Doobie Brothers, 311? How'd 311 get in there? Chris Stapleton and more. Your chance to win is waiting. All you got to do is enter now, KFAN.com, keyword contests, to the talkback machine. We go.
Hey guys, great show. 20 shots, like you said, 20-4, second period. You know what, Heinze? Why don't you have some clarity during the game? Call a frickin' early timeout and reset the team and point it out. I don't have the respect for after the game calling the players out. Do it during the game, man.
Okay. Well, You're going under the assumption that it was not done during the game, which I think is a leap.
Yeah, I'd imagine it was done during the game.
I'm not even going to imagine. I mean, it was done during the game. It may not have been, hey, guys, so I don't say this after the game. You're making a conscious choice to not play the right way to win. Maybe it was between periods. There's only so much you can do with what you have and what is transpiring in front of you. And when he says the quote reads like this. I think the style of game we needed to play to win the game, we made the conscious choice not to play that way tonight. When he says we, that is a collective group. However, it does not mean every individual is requisite of said criticism.
Right.
So it's because if that's the case, and that happens from A to Z, you could beat 20-1. If that wasn't the case, this is an overarcher. You have details and you have overarching takes. Well, there are details that went into the game that included, they were getting outshot 20-4. Then over the next X amount of minutes, they outshot them 12-5. The Wild supposedly made a conscious choice to play a certain way that was not conducive to winning. But here you are in the third period with a chance to win. That's I mean, with respect, because it's the talkback machine and you're not here on the phone and we can't go back and forth, and that's just how things are designed these days. So I'd love to give you a chance to come back with something, but it doesn't work like that, sadly. But you're wrong. I mean, it's just wrong. That's about the only way to put it. There's somebody named Sam Block that I see on Twitter right now. I got no idea how I'm seeing this thing from Sam Block, but the block spot's still having a tough time with Commissioner Bettman's playoff seeding. Yeah, I mean, right after, I don't know if he's a Wild fan. He works for ESPN. And I don't know if he's a Wild fan or not, but he's still having a tough time with the old playoff seeding. The Minnesota Wild, 104 points, were the third best team in the West this season. They should have played the 6-seed Mammoth, 92 points. Instead, they played the 2-seed Stars, 112 points, and took care of business. Their reward? The 1-seed Avs, 121 points. Just absolutely ridiculous. He's 10 of 10 right.
Yeah, he's right.
It's 10 of 10 right, and we can go down the stupid conversation of, well, here's the reality. This is what is in front of you, so take what's in front of you and make the best of it. Well, that's true. That's true. But how about the whole formula to the situation? It's stupid. It's completely stupid. Whether you're on top of a situation or on the bottom. If you have the third most points in a conference, and then you get the team that has the second most points, and as a reward for winning, you get the team with the first most points, this is just stupid. Anyway.
Talkback machine.
Yeah, good morning, Nordo. Justin from Iowa. I'm not going to pretend that I'm an elite hockey mind, but boy, do I love it when a coach has high expectations for his squad, and when those expectations aren't met, in a roundabout way, calls him out. I mean, he didn't go, Jaden McDaniels on the whole outfit, but I love seeing that. So we'll see what our guys are made of this next game if those expectations are met.
Amen. And Hines he's become more direct and more pointed with things that he said after certain W's and L's. I appreciate that too, because it's like, I thought the final score was 4-2. I got so pissed off at that first empty netter, I didn't even know they had a second one. Why? Because I turned off my television, and I didn't want to sit there and mash on Wild minutia for the rest of a Monday night. I'll do it Tuesday morning. So then I crack open The Athletic, because that's what I do, and that's where I start, and Joe Smith writes a gamer, and in like the second or third paragraph is this gold from the head coach of the Minnesota Wild, and it sets the tone for the entire 9 to noon show. I mean, there are hit numbers we can look at. There are injuries about which we can speak. There are east, west, north, south opportunities that were had, closed on, or missed. But when the coach says we made a conscious choice to play in a way that we knew was not conducive to winning. Well, that right there sets the tone for everything in the estimation of yours truly. Because then, and Dane Mizutani is going to be in studio today about 30 minutes from now, covers the Vikings for the Pioneer Press. And he's also at, whenever we do Vox in the Box at Tria, we always see Dane covering the morning skate for the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he was at the game last night, if he wrote about it, tweeted about it, or whatever. But like, if you're Dane Mizutani, if you are the Scribe, if you are YA, if you're young Alec, and you're in a press conference and a head coach gives you that, well, it's just the nature of the job that you can't wait to scurry to the locker room to see what everybody thinks about it. You know, it's not, oh, hey, whoa, what do you think of this? Here's what Heinze said. No, it's like, Coach Hines said this, your thoughts. And to a man, copyright Jared Bednar, that happened last night. And I can't find any quotes from any players basically saying Hines is wrong, saying he doesn't know what he's talking about, saying, well, actually, we did this by conscious choice. It was actually thy, not I, for a majority of this part of the game, and that's why it was close. Maybe that took place, but it's not there. Nobody said it after the game. And that's just kind of how like a beat reporter's job works, is you get this and then you go get reaction from the players. It's happened a zillion times this year with the Timberwolves, and Finch said ball got sticky. Ant, what do you think? He's right. We didn't follow his plan. When we follow his plan, we're tough to beat. When we don't follow his plan, all we do is get beat. It's one of those. Same fishbowl, different rock. But for the sake of the talkbacks now and later, it's state of hockey. What does making a conscious choice to abandon the best chance to win mean? Bitch about Hines and not doing whatever you think he's not doing during the game. The guy who helped lead them to the third most points in the Western Conference. Sans Broads and Ecke, but that's off to the side because that's been the case. But we're looking for state of hockey commentary on, like, were we not finishing pulverizing checks? Why were we so east-west last night, and why did it take us an hour to set things up by the blue line? Any commentary on Volstat and how he played? It's open game, 9 to noon, in the estimation of yours truly, to say a mistake was made in Game 2 in the Mile Get High City by not playing Wally. I don't happen to agree with that take, but that doesn't make me right. Bloomington's Eric Johnson, who was the analyst for ESPN last night, when he was talking about Wally, and this is the point of the game where it was Wally. I mean, they're going nuts, and it is Wall of St. Paul. Eric Johnson shared via the broadcast, and by the way, EJ is very good at what he does, and he's getting better. That's my opinion. I just think he has a bright future analyzing hockey. He shared something as if he had spoken with something who knows the answer. Somebody who knows the answer. In the business, we call that steam. In the business, we call that background. You chat with somebody, they give you the right answer. You don't say their name or how you got it. You just became the elite take hockey mind. And he said it was the right decision to sit Volstat in Game 2 because he needed a mental and physical break. Now, was he just formulating that opinion because he's an elite hockey mind? Or was he told that by Wally? I think he was told that by somebody because of the results, the fruit that subsequently has come out of said rest. Wally was fine last night, man. Wally was fine. I mean, there was one goal you probably could do without.
In my opinion, he only made one mistake last night, and that was when he was behind the net trying to clear it. He fans on it, and I think he passed it directly to a member of the Avs. And 10 seconds later, it's Colton for the goal, and it's 2-1.
Well stated. Yeah, and probably I don't know exactly what Colton said. Ross Colton, I think, as he skated by JoJo. There was a B-bomb at the end of it.
Yeah.
I replayed it several times, trying to read lips to see exactly what he was saying. But it basically was in the neighborhood of, how's that, B?
I always love that one.
What do you think of that, B?
I always love that one.
JoJo's just trying to get back to the bench to make a conscious choice to have something to drink.
Well, did you see the during the intermission, McCarron joins the national guys to talk about the first period.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I saw the reaction to it on X, and it seems like it was kind of nasty, right?
Well, McCarron that's Manson, Josh Manson, the guy who butted him with the stick. Mm-hmm. He's a dirty player. Everybody knows that, basically.
Really?
Yeah. 4 minutes should have been a major, but we're glad he's still in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, just very succinctly.
And we scored on the double minor.
Savaged him, and that led to Yurov's redirection.
Yeah.
Manson, by the way, just coming back from injury.
Yeah, don't let me forget. I don't know if Wischusen, the Vox. We need a game 6.
Yeah, we need a game 6.
Because the Vox Bob Wischusen, who was also the talented radio play-by-play voice for the New York Jets, he's going to join 9 to noon. He just can't join it today because of a red eye for a game he's calling tonight.
Yeah, so we need a game 6.
But I can't forget with Manson, and I don't know if Wischusen wrote this down and delivered it, or it just came top of the head. Man, he had a good line last night. Did. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, no, but Manson's pretty good. Manson's physical. He's a brute. Probably should have gotten a major for the stick butt.
Couldn't pick him out of a 2-person lineup standing next to PK Subban into the series.
I always love that one.
He was physical last night. He's big on the PK, I think, for them. Like that was a sneaky good get of getting healthy and getting him, despite the boneheaded antics earlier. But
I'm thinking we ain't playing a lick. And then we learn then we learn after the game that we're making conscious choices to not play the right way, which has some selfishness to it. But I'm like, as I'm putting these notes together for today, I'm like, hey, Bednar went with Blackie. When it was Wedgie who won the first 2. Oh. And then he yanked Wedgie and put in Blackie. Then he came back with Blackie. And, wow. I mean, it's, I wonder if they got a little controversy up in that Covenant with their goaltending situation.
Well, I was
then they opened a 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
There's your dagger on my entire notes.
No controversy, apparently. Well, I think Blackwood was their top goalie. Like, it was kind of a similar situation to us, where Gus was our number 1, Volstedt's getting spot duty, but then you have Wedgie, who's just unbeatable, so he finds the rhythm into the postseason. But I saw Avs fans were kind of wondering, maybe they just pulled Wedgie to get Blackwood ready for tonight. Not that Wedgwood was necessarily the issue for the Game 3 loss, but he was terrific last night. I mean, he was on the ground doing the splits, all those multiple shot opportunities we couldn't close on.
His nickname's Blackie.
Blackie.
You don't have to be afraid to say it. There was Wischusen last night with Manson.
Yeah.
Okay, and if there wasn't a pause with like a verbal comma after he said Manson, then I would think, and it probably was stream of consciousness, but at one point, as Manson was skating up the ice, he said, Manson, with time to kill.
I always love that one.
It's unbelievable. Seriously, it's unbelievable. Hopefully the Wolves game is unbelievable tonight. That series is tied to 2. Wemby plays, in case you missed it yesterday. We have some new friends in the Covenant today, and one of them is named Mary Rominger. She worked for KEYC TV in Mankato. That's how I met her. I met her at Canterbury Park, and we chatted career and stuff like that many years ago. She's covering the San Antonio Spurs for KSAT TV in San Antonio. And Miss Mary joins us next.
You're listening live to Paul Allen at 9 to noon on iHeartRadio and FM 100.3 KFAN, The Fan.
For more information about contests on the station, go to KFAN.com/.
No, the rebound is collected by Harper. The horn sounds, and this game is over. The Wolves have rallied in the fourth quarter from 8 down with 7:48 to play, and they win it 114-109, and they've evened the best of 7 series at 2 games apiece.
Joining us now is Mary Rominger, sports anchor and talent for KSAT Television in San Antonio. Been there from Mankato and KEYC, Go Crazy Fankato, for about half a decade. Learn more about our friend at Mary Rominger TV, at Mary Rominger TV via the X machine. Well, hello there, Mary. Great chatting with you. How's the wedding planning going?
I feel like the luckiest girl in the world that I might be coming fresh off of my first NBA playoff coverage into my wedding. So it's pretty crazy times over here. Hey, shout out to Alan Horton for his call on the Victor Wembanyama elbow to Nasri, because he nailed that call. He was on it.
Covenant claps for the box we hear on KFAN, and we will hear tonight, as so said by Mary Rominger TV from down San Antonio way. Mary, the last time we spoke in person was within 10 years ago at Canterbury Park. Things seem to be going well for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Minnesota will always have such a special place in my heart, because that's where my professional career started in sports broadcasting. And I miss Canterbury Park so much. When you brought up the racetrack, all the memories came back. But yeah, 4 years at KYC to now being here in San Antonio, covering this San Antonio Spurs team. It's pretty incredible how this journey has looked. But yeah.
We're going to get into that basketball game tonight, that basketball series here momentarily. And I know you're from Southern California and attended the University of Southern California. So I can't remember if I've asked you this before. Are the Minnesota Vikings your favorite football team?
You know, my fandom, my life is all over the place, PA. So I went to Iowa State, not USC, but I am not a Vikings fan. I grew up a Steelers fan because we didn't have an NFL team in LA when I was growing up. Now I follow the Rams a little bit more closely as a fan.
Right.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah, well, it's hard for people to follow.
Right. Well, post L, if you said yes, then I was thinking Jordan Addison would be your favorite player. But Iowa State, well, we drafted a Cyclone named Dominic Orange. Nickname is Big Citrus. So if and or when you come to a Vikings game, follow Big Citrus, a defensive tackle. Let me ask you this: what's it like covering the San Antonio Spurs?
You know, it's a unique experience. The Minnesota Vikings, I got to attend and cover some of their training camps, and their media access is incredible. Completely different story with the Spurs, because the ground, the foundation that legendary former head coach Greg Popovich laid, he doesn't give a whole lot of access to the media. So we have a unique experience here covering the Spurs here in San Antonio. Even though they're the only professional sports team in town, you really have to claw your way in to get some additional access beyond what's the league makes them. You know, so it's fun. I mean, Victor Wembanyama, the year he was drafted is the year that I was hired here in San Antonio, and what they've had back-to-back years of lottery picks, and as you can see, as a result of that, they're a really good team. And it's pretty crazy that the team that we saw in the regular season is now what we're seeing in the postseason, even against a veteran team like the Timberwolves.
Well, no surprise, Wembanyama had no further action taken against him for the elbow, right? I mean, he doesn't seem to be that kind of player. Is that accurate?
Not at all, yeah. The intent in that play, I think you could maybe argue, but beyond that, he's never shown any malintent on the basketball court. And I found the way he handled it all very interesting, because he's a guy kind of like Anthony Edwards. He wants to be on the court. He'll do anything to play a game. He even kind of had some words to say about the NBA after they kept him out of Game 3 against Portland after he suffered that concussion. He wasn't happy that he didn't get to play, even though he was fresh off of a concussion. So the fact that he was ejected and he took it on the chin and he just embraced the Wolves fan booing him into the tunnel, I found to be interesting. We'll see if tonight he plays maybe a little angry, or, you know, if he just brushes it off. But no, not the type of player that Wembanyama is at all a dirty player. No.
Mary Rominger, formerly of KEYC in Mankato, friend of yours truly's, now is covering the Spurs and other things as an anchor and talent and a reporter for KSAT San Antonio Television. She's on the 9 to Noon show at Mary Rominger TV via X. Mary, how hard is it to get tickets to Spurs playoff games?
That's a good question. I don't think it's too hard. They sell out well, but I think if you go on Ticketmaster or Game Time or something like that, I think you can get a ticket pretty easy. The reason I say that is my fiance, yes, it was a solo ticket because I'm working, but he didn't have a problem getting a ticket for Game 5 once we knew it was going to a Game 5.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, that atmosphere, it definitely rivals what's going on in Target Center because, and maybe that's why this series has been so wonderful beyond the players on the court because those two arenas, the fan bases, I'll put them next to any fan base in all of sports because they're loud.
All right, so with the Spurs, eliminate your objective journalist job. Okay, take that out of the equation. And with this question, you cannot pick Wemby. So with that said, who would be your favorite Spur and why?
My favorite Spur, taking Wemby out of it, and I'm just talking as a basketball fan right now, not a Spurs media member. Okay. Yep. I think Steph Castle, without a doubt, Stephon Castle. Also a Georgia native like Anthony Edwards. He is going through his first playoffs, right? So he's navigating that playoff whistle, and maybe Wolves fans aren't that happy with him right now. But beyond this series, the grit he plays the game with, his ability to finish around the rim in any given situation, his mentality towards competition, he's quickly grown as one of my favorites. Honestly, I mean, if I'm drafting for a team, I'm picking Wembanyama, but if I'm drafting for character and ability, I'm picking Steph Castle.
I like that. You are from Orange County in Southern California, right?
Yes.
All right. So, Mary, what's more of a legit transition? Southern California to Minnesota or Minnesota to San Antonio?
Definitely California to Minnesota. But like I said, I came from Iowa State, so it was a easier transition. But no, the Midwest has far more beauty than Southern California, if that's okay for me to say.
So when I mean, Spurs might win the championship, especially with the way they know they can play Oklahoma City. I mean, they beat them 3 or 4 times this year. But when this is done, what do you cover down there when Spurs season is over?
That's a great question. I feel like my brain has just shut off to everything else other than the NBA playoffs. Like we've gotten those little bit of early releases for the NFL schedule.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, NFL's right around the corner. We cover the Cowboys, so I travel. I go up to Dallas all the way from San Antonio, about a 5-hour drive. For game days though, we fly. So I cover the Cowboys. I'll cover mini camps and training camp in California. Once football season starts, I mean, that's the beast here in Texas. So just like for you guys, you have both the Wolves and Wild in the playoffs. If once football starts, this is the state of football here.
Yeah. So I mean, it's Texas high school football, Friday Night Lights. It's all ballyhooed and age old. We understand that. But Dallas, 4.5, 5 hours away. All right. Are there any Saints fans down there? I mean, I think it's like a 9-hour drive from San Antonio.
No, that's a good point. I haven't come across Saints fans, but I'll tell you what, PA, there are a lot of Vikings fans in San Antonio. Do you know this?
No, I didn't.
Yes, so there's the Red McCombs connection.
Oh.
Off the top of my head, I need to look back at the details a little better of the history, but the Vikings organization has made attempts, or maybe Red McCombs himself has made attempts to try to bring NFL to San Antonio, whether it's a one-off game in the past or so forth. I'm sure the people listening know a little bit better because I was just privy to the information when I moved here.
Right.
But there's a lot of Vikings fans here because of that connection.
Jeez. Well, Red McCombs, may God rest his soul, he owned the team for a short amount of time before the Wilfs bought the Ziggy Mark and Leonard and the rest of the Wilfs bought the team. And in fact, it was 2001. I think the Vikings played a preseason game at what used to be called Alamo Dome. So maybe there were some Billies and Johnnies and Christies and Susies who remember that preseason game and they just fell in love with the colors. But that's good to know. Back to the Spurs for a second. Couple of quickies to close here. What are some Mitch Johnson, first full season replacing Pop? What are some things that make Mitch Johnson a good coach?
Man, Mitch Johnson has been such a pleasant surprise. Not that I had any idea of what he would be like as a head coach before he got the job, but I thought it might be, a little of the Jerry Jones, Brian Schottenheimer, hire within. Is this really the change that the organization needs after a long-time head coach with Greg Popovich and now his successor? But Mitch Johnson is so even-keeled. It is quite impressive, and it clearly translates to the players and how they approach the game. And he's quite the creative coach. I mean, we've seen, you have Victor Wembanyama on your team. You have a backup center in Luke Cornett, NBA champion. He found a way to create a small ball lineup that allowed for the Spurs to be even more dynamic, and that's why you see when Victor Wembanyama is not on the court, they can still play basketball. Anthony Edwards even said after Game 4 that they were arguably harder to play against when Wemby wasn't on the court because of the pace they play with all their guards.
Yep.
He's a great coach. He can come at you with a lot of different ways with the way he built his offense. You see how he's orchestrating the defense in real time, some viral clips. He's been a very impressive coach so far.
Lastly, Mary Rominger, KSAT TV in San Antonio. What do you think about tonight? It's Game 5. The Spurs are 10.5-point favorites over the Timberwolves.
10.5-point favorites. What was it, Game 2 when the Spurs won by 38? And I thought 10.5 points are disrespecting the Wolves. That's a monstrosity. Oh man, I think I've seen enough, and I'm sorry, Wolves fans. And I'm sure you guys are a high IQ fan base. I'm sure you agree with Wembanyama on the court. It's just too many problems that the Spurs pose for the Wolves, especially without Dante, especially with a not 100% healthy Ant. So I think if all goes according to plan, we don't have a shocking ejection like we saw last game. The Spurs maybe close this out in 6. They've been the better team.
Mary, very, very happy for your move to San Antonio and things that are going well professionally for you. Congratulations on the upcoming wedding, and enjoy the game tonight. Thank you very much for the time, okay?
Thank you very much. Great catching up, PA.
Yep, no problem. See you. Mary Rominger, KSAT TV in San Antonio. It's 10 o'clock. Let's segue to mostly Vikings, but perhaps some Minnesota Wild, with Dane Mizutani of the Pioneer Press and TwinCities.com. That's next 9 to noon.
This is 9 to noon on